Hi there, fight fans. My name is Kian Lang, and I'm very happy to say that I'm today joined by UFC light heavyweight contender Modestas Bukauskas. Modestas, first of all, thank you very much for having us here at the gym today. How are we doing?
No worries, brother. It's an absolute pleasure having you here, and yeah, doing good, man. Just training, staying in shape, getting in slightly better shape, getting a little bit more ripped as the weeks go on, and yeah, man, just like all gearing up towards fight night.
Well, we saw you hitting the session there. I mean, I can tell why you're getting in shape. It seems intense. How is camp going for you, and how's the body feeling now a few weeks out?
Do you know what? It's been going really well. It's been very difficult lately. I'm not going to lie. Last week was absolutely horrendous. But you know, you got to push yourself. You got to put yourself through really adverse situations in order to sort of be more comfortable if it does get to that in the fight. But yeah, now I've got a great group of guys here. I mean, everyone at Team Aspinall was like absolutely amazing. Obviously got really high level guys here, and yeah, mate, like the camaraderie here is absolutely amazing. And yeah, we just push ourselves to try and get as best as we can. So yeah, mate, everything in camp is going right on point, right on cue, and it can only get better as it gets closer towards fight night.
And how much does it help you having a guy like Ante, especially? I mean, he's fighting on the exact same night as you. Of course, Tom's fighting just a month later. You know, guys getting into their peak at the exact same time must be good for you.
Oh, it's brilliant because, like I said, we're sort of going into war together. Do you know what I mean? We're going as an army. Do you know what I mean? So it's absolutely amazing. Ante's in absolutely phenomenal shape. Obviously, his mindset and the way he approaches even training is like very like, you know, like warrior spirit mentality, which is amazing, which is exactly what you need. It makes sure that he's sort of pushing me, pushing himself. You know, he's getting himself in that mind frame like I'm ready to go to battle. So it's great having a guy like that there. Getting amazing rounds, and obviously he's getting fitter, so it makes it even more difficult for us as training partners, and vice versa. So yeah, mate, the team is strong.
Well, that's great to hear. And looking ahead to this matchup, I mean, first things first, how did the fight with Paul Craig come about? It feels like to me it's sort of been one that's always felt like it should happen one day.
Yeah, I feel like it was definitely one in the making for sort of a very long time, but obviously. Paul Craig, you know, he's beaten some, you know, the guys at the cream of the crop at light heavyweight. You know, he's been within the rankings for a very long time as well. So it would have taken a little bit longer for me to get to that point because he started racking up wins and you know, making a name for himself. Then he moved back down to middleweight and then come back to light heavyweight. But I felt like that fight, you know, domestically as well, was sort of a fight that was like sort of just itching to happen, you know. So I'm glad that they finally put it together. Like I say, I just got a call from my manager late at night one day. He goes, "How do you feel about fighting Paul Craig in Paris?" I'm like, "Let's do it." So yeah, it's an amazing matchup for the fans. You know, the battle for the #1 light heavyweight in the UK. So I'm looking forward to it.
And looking at it stylistically, he's kind of an anomaly to me at the weight division. I mean, he throws these big body kicks on the feet, and then on the ground, he's obviously well documented what he can do down there. How do you look at this fight stylistically?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because the amount of techniques he can throw, especially kicking wise, like, you know, like he can throw a good amount of techniques. I don't know if he has a taekwondo background or something like this, but you know, he can throw all the spinning kicks, he can throw the roundhouse kicks and stuff like this. And obviously, everyone knows how good his ground game is. So obviously, we're going to be very well prepared for that. He's very dangerous in many areas, but then again, so am I. So you know, it's looking to exploit where he's weak and you know, implement where I'm strong. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do in the fight.
And is it one of those for you? I mean, I don't want you to give away any game plan things, but when you're fighting a guy like Paul Craig, is it almost a difficult decision whether you're going to engage in that grappling or just stay far away from it?
You got to go where the fight takes you. You got to just go with the flow, as they say. Like when I'm going to be in there, I'm going to be in my flow state. You know, I'm going to just be going and everything, letting it go naturally, letting things just sort of adapt within the fight. And you know, when I see I land my shots, then I can start being more aggressive. But ultimately, you got to take what's given to you. And yeah, if the opportunity presents myself to land damage in the grappling or in the striking areas, then I'm going to take it. And I'm sure he'll do the same. So that's why it's going to be a very exciting matchup for the fans.
And after the last fight, of course, all the sort of ridiculousness on social media after it, is it kind of an extra fire and hunger to get a statement in this one and really leave all those people that have doubted for no reason at all?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, I know that my last fight wasn't my best performance. I still feel like I definitely got the victory by split decision, 29-28. That's how I feel all the scorecards should have been read. But, you know, I was a little bit more hesitant than I normally am. Obviously, when you're fighting a guy who's as dangerous as Ion Cutelaba, he comes out very reckless, very wild. You got to be careful. You can't just always engage all the time in the pocket with a guy who can, clean you out with one shot. So, I fought a little bit more strategically, but I also felt like I was a little bit more hesitant. So this time round, I'm definitely not going to come out hesitant. I've gone over the sort of the jitters of fighting someone that's like sort of going towards the top 15, and now I can really put on my best performance. I've worked on so many things in this training camp. I feel like I've definitely leveled up, and now it's time to just put it out and show. So I'm looking forward to it.
And I mean, another big thing for me as a fan is the walkout, because I was there in Montreal at UFC 315, and your walkout made me get out of my seat. The second gigs kicked in. Are we going to get the same again with that?
We're definitely going to be getting some gigs, that's for sure, mate. But like I say, it's going to be special. Just put it this way: when you see me walk out this time, if you thought you were jumping out your seat that time round, this time round, I swear you're probably going to be running out to the cage with me. Trust me. This walkout's going to be incredibly special, and I'm really looking forward to it. Just because I know it's going to get me amped and pumped up, and show people what the UK grime scene's all about. You know what I mean?
And getting this opportunity to fight in Paris, we know what the crowds are like over there. I mean, you're kind of lucky. You've gone from Montreal to Paris. They're two of the best crowds we've got in the UFC. How much are you looking forward to getting out in front of those fans?
Oh, mate, I always love fighting. I've been so blessed and so lucky to fought, my last two fights, lost 3 fights in front of, massive crowds, going to Manchester, then Seattle was an amazing crowd, even though I was the first fight of the night. Then Montreal was an absolutely great crowd. It's great to see all the people really getting behind the athletes, really getting behind the sport. And I've heard that that nothing can top, what the crowd is like in Paris. I've heard that there's an absolute insane energy when the fighters come out and stuff like this. Like, even one of my training partners was saying, like, the energy in there is just absolutely electric. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've been so blessed to be fighting, like I say, in front of a crowd in all of my last fights. And I'm looking forward to really put on a show for them.
And I wanted to ask as well about your start into this sport. Of course, I know your dad, who is an absolute unit, by the way, was a fighter. So I'm sure growing up with that was the first inspiration, first sort of outlook into the sport. But how did mixed martial arts come around for you?
So yeah, no, it was pretty much all my dad, really. I would hear, like, when I was a little kid, there was like this thick block of wood with like a piece of padding on it. And like it had thick padding at the beginning, but then slowly but surely the padding just sort of wearing down. And then all I could hear was shots into like thick like blocks of wood. And I'm just like, that's how if I got told to clean my room, I better clean my room. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, pretty much when I was 5 years old, my dad, he's like, oh, look at these cool techniques. And then 2 weeks later, it's like, okay, now we start hard training, So but I'm very thankful for it. I wouldn't have it any other way. It taught me a lot about discipline, about hard work. And about believing in yourself as well. So from a young age, I'm very grateful and lucky to have my dad to sort of steer the way for my whole career. And I feel like it's not just my career, it's his career also. So it's amazing to be able to do it together as father and son.
I mean, I said it to you last time, it's like the dream of every man. So it's so cool that you get to experience that. And was there any fighters in particular that, whilst you're growing up and watching the sport the first time, that you maybe tried to emulate or looked up to?
It's funny because definitely there was when John Jones was on the scene back in his earlier days, fighting at light heavyweight, he was a massive inspiration to me. But I have to admit, the first thing that I like vividly remember like watching and like thinking, oh, I would love to be like you sort of had that little idea in your head, oh, wouldn't it be great to be a fighter? Like, how cool is this? Is watching the Ultimate Fighter season when Mike Bisping was in the house. So he was like the first one where I remember, like I say, like really like paying attention to and like really getting a liking to and like seeing his fighting style and his personality. So yeah, I would say that was like the main one that I like I say, like remember growing up and then watching like go on to have an amazing career himself. So yeah, man. And obviously Anderson Silva as well, watching him with his amazing performances. I mean, it was one of the greatest like title runs in UFC history.
It's kind of mad. I mean, you've gone from watching him, I imagine he'll be the one commentating on Paris. That
Yeah.
would be pretty cool for you now.
Yeah, I know. I've had him commentate on a couple of my fights. So funny enough, even I think it was when I had that really bad knee injury. but yeah, no, it's always amazing having Mike Bisping. I felt very good to be able to get that knockout in front of him in Seattle. Yeah, we're going to be working to put an amazing performance for him out there in Paris. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
And what would your advice be to anyone looking to get into the sport and start for the first time?
Well, what I would say is that you just got to be patient. You know, it's a game where if you kind of rush to get good too early, you'll never get good. You know, you need to make sure that even through the highs and the lows, you're constantly just going back in the gym and trying to improve on those little just details, just trying to pick up as many of those techniques as possible. You don't have to be winning everything straight away, but you got to show up. You got to be consistent. You got to be dedicated. You got to try and learn as much as you can, because this game is so broad. You have to learn the grappling, you have to learn the wrestling, you have to learn the striking. So just taking your time with it and just soaking in as much as you can, and then ultimately you'll be able to bring it all together when it gets to yourself competing. And I'll definitely advise to compete in the grappling arts from an early age as well, and just try and do as many competitions as possible. You know, people are so worried and so wrapped up around, you know, having this pro record or a good amateur record. Your amateur record doesn't need to be that good. Really, where it matters is your pro record. So you get in that experience, you'll really be able to make a difference at pro. It definitely, if I could have fought more amateur, I definitely would. So I would definitely advise that. But yeah, just try and absorb and learn as much as you can, because this game is getting even more technical, even more evolved as time goes on. So yeah, you've got to stay ahead of the curve in this game.
And just the final one for me, and again, I can't thank you enough for your time and letting us come down here today. What's your final prediction for the Paul Craig fight?
My prediction for this fight is going to be fireworks. It's going to be explosive. You're going to see the best bolted gladiator that you've ever seen. I know it's a cliche to say this, but at the same time, I feel like I've made the necessary changes in order to get the best out of myself. So you're just going to see me going out there, putting it on him and getting my hand raised. And ultimately, that's all it comes down to. But just get ready for a good show.
Man, I can't wait to see it. Once again, thank you so much for your time today,
My man.
brother. And best of luck September the 6th.
My man, thank you so much.
Thank you very much, man.